talking about a grocery website. So I'll just quickly make you go through the grocery website. You can see this. Okay, now here we have created certain images. We have added some values to it. We have given the names. The product price has been given. Also, we have an option of add to cart. So basically, we have created this website using the Django framework. We would be creating this from scratch in our paid sessions. Okay, so we'll show you how to create this. Also, we have a different admin panel in this, which will basically manage the stock and everything. So even if you haven't created any website before, there is nothing to worry. You can start this learning from the scratch. Okay, so now we have understood what are we going to do in our Python live classes. And as I told you, Python is very super easy to learn. So basically, we would be also going through many exercises together, as I'll be also giving you some assignments in between. Just I'm showing you how do we go further. So for installation part and downloading part, okay, we can go to python.org. Here you have downloads option. Once you go there, the latest available for Windows is Python 3.10.4. Now there are chances that in future you might have a newer version available. So do not worry. All the contents that we are going to work in this particular sessions would also work on the newer versions also. When you open PyCharm, you will get this particular window. You can go for a new project. Now I'm giving here, say Python day 1 session. By default, the path is in your user, you have a PyCharm project folder created. In that, the path goes by default. You can change if you need it, but I'm keeping it the same. I'll click on create button. The first program that we would be looking at is say to print some text on the screen, a very basic one. Because if I'm starting a programming, I want to first of all know how can I print something on the user screen. So for that, we basically have a code, just one single line of code that we have to write down. Over here, first thing is we don't get any by default Python file created in the PyCharm project. So what you will do is right click on this folder. Okay, this is your root folder in the PyCharm directory. So right click there, go for a new Python file. Okay, now let's give a name here as session1.py. Py is basically the extension for all your Python files. So press enter, your file gets created. Now here you're supposed to write down the code. So we just write simply print, open the round bracket. Now either you can use double quotation marks or you can use single quotation marks. Totally depends how do you want to print the text. It doesn't matter, but remember you can't use one double and one single. Okay, you have to use double quotes or single quotes, whatever text you write in between. Say we write down here, hello, welcome to Python. Now, hello, welcome to Python is the text that I want to print on my command whenever the Python program runs. So whatever you write inside this double quotes or single quotes would be printed as it is. Suppose you give here a space, so it will print space and then this. Suppose you print here an asterisk. So after printing this, it will give a space and asterisk. Whatever text you write down in between double quotes would be printed as it is. Now, how do you want to execute this? You go to run. I have here the run option. Okay, but another option is using a shortcut key. What is that? It is Alt, Shift and F10. So either you use Alt, Shift and F10 or you go on run and click this. I would prefer using Alt, Shift and F10 option. So just from the keyboard, I'm using Alt, Shift, F10, enter on session 1. It prints a space, hello, welcome to Python, space, asterisk. So whatever we have written in between the double quotes is printed as it is. One more thing. What if I write down P in capital? Okay, I have not made P in small, I have made P capital. I try to execute my program. I get an error because Python is a case sensitive language. So if a particular function, I mean to say function because these are all predefined functions. Okay, always every language has certain rules which you have to follow basically. So a rule of Python is if you want to print something, you have to use the print function and it has to be all in small. So Python is a case sensitive language. So you have to be careful. If writing it in small, it has to be in small case. If writing it in capital, it has to be in capital. But follow the rules of the particular language. Okay, so print has to be all in small case, nothing in capital. So we have executed this. Suppose I want to print one more line after this. So again, I use the print function. Now let's use single quotes. Earlier we had used double quotes. I give here some asterisks to be printed. Fine. What is the shortcut for executing the programs? Alt Shift F10 and then press enter. So you got here first line printed as it is. On the new line, we got another text printed. So how are the Python codes executed? They start from line 1, execute line 1, come on the next line, execute the next line. So basically, Python codes are executed line by line. One line executes, then it comes on the new line and executes the second line. Let's modify more. We are writing here some pipeline symbol. Say this is super easy to understand. Again, some pipeline symbol. So now we have the third print statement given here. What is the shortcut again? Alt Shift F10, press enter, it executes. So whatever you're writing, it is simply executing. We are not knowing how it is executing in the backend because there are compilers which basically executes your Python code. It checks whether the code written is proper. Are there any syntax errors? Are there any other errors? Are there any exceptions which are occurring? If no, if everything is fine, then your Python code gives you the output that is required. So in this way, we have seen simple print statement, how to print something on the command screen, how to run your Python programs, okay, how to create your Python files, right? I hope this is very much clear.